congratulations on making your pro debut this weekend.
Appreciate it, bro. It's something I've been looking forward to really my whole life. I didn't know it was gonna be fighting in the beginning, but it just turned out that way. And yeah, all glory to God, man. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, take me back to growing up. You said you didn't think you'd be fighting. So, where'd you grow up, and how'd you get into MMA?
So I was born in New York, but moved down to Florida when I was around 6 or 7 years old. Um, so I grew up playing baseball, and I thought I was gonna be Derek Jeter. Uh, I grew up my whole life, little league, travel ball, played high school ball, um, and then I ended up with the wrong coaching, the wrong team, the wrong place, and kind of steered away from baseball after high school. I got into family business, worked, you know, with my family. We had a recycling company that we built from the bottom up. We ended up selling that, and then towards the end of that realm, I started training with Chris Mixon, who you know
Mm,
now.
yeah.
He got me in the gym. He went to the same high school as me, but we just started running together one day, and he told me to come to the gym, and I met John Radford, our coach. We started boxing, and ever since it was just kind of like he lit a candle in me, and it was on go ever since.
Okay, so you mentioned Chris there, and so you said you went to high school with him. That sounds like this has been a pretty ongoing relationship. So, how long did Chris get into MMA before you realized you need to hop on that as well?
So Chris was he was wrestling in high school, and I know he started boxing even before he graduated. So he's been in the game a lot longer than me. I started training in like 2021, so I'm fairly new to the game. I took a lot of amateur fights in a short amount of time. I think I went through 9 fights in like 12 months, something like that. And yeah, after my first one, I had a first round guillotine choke, and I knew like even before the fight, the warm up, the walkout. There's actually a clip of me. Comment Night has it. Before when they were putting the Vaseline on me, I was crying because I felt like so happy. I felt so like where I was supposed to be. I was destined to be here, and like even I get goosebumps thinking about that moment. And yeah, ever since the first fight, I knew that God put me on this planet to do this, and it's a full circle now going into my first pro fight. So yeah, it's just Chris started way before me, but we just started running together. 2021, I think it was like a Snapchat literally. Like I was posting my times, and he replied to me, and he's like, "Let's get a run," and we got a run. And I was a cross country runner in high school as well while I played baseball. So Chris had beat me that first run, and then I'd never let him beat me on a run again, like ever, because I was super out of shape. But no, he's helped me, grow as a fighter. He's coached me. He's been my main training partner, really. Um, and yeah, it was just ever since we've just been on go.
So, you mentioned Chris there, you mentioned your coach. How long ago did you make that, connection to the gym you're at now? And who there are you training with day to day the most besides Chris?
Yeah, so Fusion X-cel Performance, they're in Orlando. They have a lot of like pretty well-known fighters, Mike Perry, Terrence McKinney, Phil Rowe, Charles Johnson. But I started training there last year. My I was fighting for my second amateur title. My first time I cut down to featherweight. I was fighting a crazy Jamaican named Bashmir Winston, and I was a little. I come from a boxing gym with Chris and John Radford, so I wanted to really start learning how to wrestle and be more confident in that, especially going into a fight like this. So I started cross training at Fusion, which is an hour and a half from me. So it's a drive, but it's well worth it. Julian Williams, the head coach over there, his grappling and his MMA IQ is second to none. The experience he has, it's unmatched. The IQ. I mean, every time I go there, I learn so much from all of them, and they really help me not only kind of compose myself, not only having to like just kind of strike and then take down the fence. they've given me a lot of confidence in, hey, I can wrestle, I can take this to the ground, I can submit, I can ground and pound, I can do all of it. So yeah, last year I fought him in April, I'm pretty sure. And ever since then, it's been like, it's not a full time training thing. It's usually in camps. I'm there twice to three times a week. Um, but yeah, no, I drive an hour and a half there, hour and a half back. So it's definitely a grind. It's a commitment,
Mm.
but it's well worth it.
So, like you said, it's a grind, it's a commitment. But with that, you seem to be in a really good place as a fighter. You have a lot of experiences that back you going into this pro debut. 9 fights in that 12-month span really test your stamina and test who you
Yeah.
are as a fighter. That moment you had when you were tearing up, that you belong here. And then to top it off, now you're getting in minutes with guys that have been in the UFC for years. So
Yeah.
with all that combined, going into this pro debut, is the energy in the gym different? Are you feeling any pressure? Or, like you said, do you just know this is your place and you're ready to put on a show?
I feel like pressure is an illusion. It's really, it's what you put on yourself. We're all human beings. We fear. We all have nerves. It's okay. We all feel scared of things. But I think that when I got into MMA, it wasn't for money. It wasn't for fame. It wasn't for clicks or views. It was really because I love to test myself. I love competition. I love the nature of challenging and overcoming, and really just learning more about who I am as a man. And that's why I'm in this. And I think I don't really feel pressure. I think what I feel more is anxiousness to get in there and fight. Uh, I haven't fought MMA since last August, so almost a year ago. I've had some injuries. I got sick a couple times. Had some fights fall out. Guys pull out on me. So it's been a long journey for a year of training, a couple camps, 3, 4 camps, and just not being able to get in there. So like I'm just like I even said to my one of my training partners, Joe Gonzalez. He's a prodigy out of Fusion, who actually fought my opponent last. Uh, I was like, he's like, how you feeling? I'm like, I feel great, bro. I was like, I'm so sick of fucking training though. I'm ready. I just want to fight already. So that's where I'm at, and yeah, I'm so excited for this opportunity. I'm ready to just give it to God and let it go.
Mm. And so you find yourself in a really unique and great position then, obviously, with Joe Gonzalez's last fight being against your opponent. So
Yeah.
I can only assume that he's been, stepped up as one of your main training partners. And what kind of reads, what kind of information is he giving you to prepare yourself for this fight?
I mean, we talk. He's been dealing with his own injuries and stuff. And when you go to Fusion, there's so many different guys on the mats. So I don't really like to like get so stuck on one training partner. But Joe's helped me. He's just given me his insight, his reads, kind of like what he saw in there. But at the same time, I'm such a big film studier. I've watched their fights probably 50 times. So I know all my opponent's attacks. I know his reactions. I know when he gets emotional. I know when he doesn't like. I know when he wants to get on the gas pedal, and I really trust myself more than anyone because when you're in there, your vision is everything. And before the fight, you really need to manifest it and see what your opponent's gonna do before you're in there. So when it happens, it's like you're more calm, you're more composed, you're more reactive rather than like trying to like react. You're just kind of acting, if that makes sense. You're just kind of going. So he's helped me for sure when it comes to like just giving me his insight. Um, but I think that the film study and just who I am, my work ethic, my passion, and the fire inside of me is ultimately what's gonna have me thriving on Saturday night.
So, you sound like a real student of the game here, really analyzing your opponent, analyzing who you're training with. And with that, I'm curious. So, obviously, at PFL DC, we saw Chris take a loss there. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, as someone who was super close to this camp, super close to Chris personally, how does that, affect you with that loss? And do you take stuff out of it moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I make the walk with Chris when he's fighting, I think the experience is big for me. Um, Combat Night does a really good job with making their show feel like a PFL or a UFC, but at the same time, like going into an arena and feeling that energy and uh, just everything going on, the lights, the action, the show, all of it. Uh, it's definitely different than Combat Night. And whether Chris wins or loses, I always take something from that. And he's just going on through a higher low right now. He's got the fight game in his hands. He just needs to fix the little holes in his game and be a little bit more mysterious, be more creative in there. He trusts his hands so much, and we just got to get him to be more just trust his other skills. He's not just a boxer, and he needs to hone in on just being a martial artist.
Yeah, so you obviously take a lot of things out of this from a coaching perspective. As a fighter going into this next fight, are you taking stuff from Chris from this last fight, how the fight actually played out, and are you taking that into your fight? What you learned from his opponent and from him.
100%. I think that our opponents are alike in that they are momentum fighters and they like to come forward. Um, his opponent was more of a switch stancer. He had definitely had a lot more attacks. The guy I'm fighting is a lot more simple. He stands in one stance, and he's limited with what he likes to do, should I say? And I think that just the sense of urgency in there and being first, like really, really making that an obligation in there, being very confident and just trusting myself. I think that's a big thing I'm taking from Chris's fight. And yeah, it's going to show Saturday.
So, you mentioned that you see some similarities in your opponent and Kubanza. And with Kubanza being in the PFL, you could arguably say that he's a better version. So, with that,
Yeah, way
what are
better, way better, way
way
better.
better version?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
with that in mind, is there, anything you're seeing from Torres that, shapes how you approach this fight specifically? Some weaknesses you plan to hone on?
I just think I'm better everywhere. That's what it comes down to. I don't think he's a bad fighter. He's high energy, intense, definitely a fighter, wants to be there. He's got heavy right kicks. He throws heavy. Everything from the right side is heavy. I think it's everything. Everything's very telegraphed too. So it's really going to be about patience and movement in there, and getting him frustrated, staying him moving, feinting, pulling him in, crashing, just being very like not one dimensional, really making him think in there because that's when he fought Joe. Every time he was thinking, he was getting frustrated, and I've been in an amateur fight of the year in 2024, I believe it was. So I know what a dog fight is, and as ready as I am to be in one of those, I'd like to touch this guy up and make it look easy, and be able to be right back in the gym, getting better for the next one. So I'm gonna do my best to hit him, not get hit, and look good doing it.
So you mentioned that dogfight you had, amateur fight of the year. You obviously, like you said, know how to fight those long rounds. You felt the energy in there before, and you mentioned Combat Night Live puts on a good promotion production with making it feel like a big event like the UFC or PFL. So
Correct.
with you, fighting in Combat Live, but this now being your pro debut, are you expecting differences in the energy and just, the Combat Live production in general?
No, not really. I fought with Combat Night 8 times now. Seven MMA fights. No, 9 times. Seven MMA fights and two kickboxing fights. So I'm very I'm close with their team. Mitchell, the CEO, Ramsey, the producer, Richard Cox, the matchmaker. Like I know the ins and outs of the team. It's a family business, um, and they really make it feel like just a good experience overall. And like I'm comfortable with them, and I see myself fighting with them more. Uh, but also I'm ready for when I get the call from any of these big organizations after this fight. So I think that it's gonna feel the same other than no shin guards, and I get elbows and knees in 5 minute rounds now, not 3 minute rounds. I think that's really the biggest difference. But I mean, a fight's a fight in my opinion. So now I just get to be more creative with my attacks, and I get more time to set things up and be more patient. So I'm excited for that because I feel like I thrive off of my vision in there, and I've learned from very high level guys, trained with very high level guys. So my fight IQ is pretty advanced for, my pro debut, I feel. And I think that that's what's going to win me my fight is my fight IQ and just being in the right place at the right time and being not in the right place at the right time, if that makes sense.
So, you sound super ready, super obviously comfortable in this promotion. How do you see this fight playing out? Can we expect a striking heavy matchup, grappling heavy, an overall MMA matchup? How do you see it?
I think he's going to come out crazy. He's going to throw heavy right kicks, heavy overhands. He's going to load up on a lot of stuff. Um, I know he comes from a jiu-jitsu gym, but also Muay Thai. So I don't know if he's going to want to wrestle with me. Most guys, when I touch them, they end up shooting on me. So we'll see how that plays out. Um, but I'm confident that I'm going to touch him on the feet and just be one step ahead of him the whole time. Every time we're striking, we're exchanging, we're crashing, we're moving. I think that on the feet is going to be my biggest advantage in this fight. That's where I'm going to end this fight. Uh, and if he does shoot, that's also going to be bad for him. I'm very good with my top pressure. My takedown defense is second to none in there. My hips are really strong, and I'm really gonna weigh down on him if he does want to go to the ground. So we'll see what his approach is. I don't know. Most of the time though, when I touch someone, they're shooting on me. So I can see that happening as well. I'm ready for everything, man. Like I said, going to Fusion, they've made me confident that I can wrestle, I can scramble, I can ground and pound, I can strike, I can do all of it. You know.
I can hear the excitement in your voice just talking about it. Just getting, you sound like you're about to run through a wall. Like you need to get into that octagon. This is gonna be a fireworks fight. So you mentioned that.
Yeah. That was my biggest thing is like in my first fight, I was so like I came out when they called my name. I was like screaming and I was going so crazy. And like as I've matured as a fighter, I've learned to compose myself and be more zen and composed. And as much as I like to let that animal out, it's like save it. I like now I've learned to save that energy because I'm gonna be in a fight. I'm gonna have time to use it. You know what I mean? But when I talk about my fights, it all comes from passion because I really truly believe I'm doing this for all the right reasons. Like I feel like I'm a Christian believer, and I feel like God. I feel like my belief in Jesus Christ has really brought me to this. And ever since I started fighting, I've gotten a lot closer to him. And now, like, I just feel like this is my destiny. This is where I'm supposed to be. And Saturday night's just another testament in the journey. And yeah, like you can tell, I'm very excited.
Yeah, 100%. So, you mentioned you have the Zen now too, with all this energy, and you said you think that this fight is going to end on the feet. So, if you had to call it right now, how is this one going to end, and what round?
I think I hit him a lot. And depending on how tough he is, we're going to find out how long that lasts. Um, I mean, don't blink in this fight, man. It can happen quick. I'm ready to let it go. I really am. So, um, I think that it's one of those fights where it's like at any second there's a car crash coming, and everybody who's watched my fights knows that I'm there to strike. I've never shot for a takedown in 7 MMA fights. So if that tells you anything, it's like I'm there to knock people out. You know, my last 3 wins have come by knockout, so it's inevitable if my hands raised that he's most likely getting knocked out.
So we're expecting fireworks in this one, obviously. Crazy knockout, crazy finish is almost guaranteed. With that, you mentioned that you're comfortable in combat live, but you're also ready to take the next shot. With a pro debut victory here, do you see yourself building a name in combat live? Maybe taking a couple more wins, a couple more names, building that experience, and then going for the big names? Or are you ready now? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm a businessman, so this is a career that I'm in, and I don't have a management company before fighting. So I really understand the analytics of it's not just a fight. There's a show behind it, there's pay behind it, there's sponsors behind it. So I really feel like wherever the biggest and the best opportunity for John Morea is, I'm gonna take that route. And if Comment Night wants to keep me around, then they're gonna value me and they're gonna do what's right by me. The UFC or the PFL or whoever else wants to call me up and give me a good opportunity, a good fight, I'll be ready for that too. So I mean, really the only thing I need to focus on is me, um, eating the right things, sleeping enough, training consistently, keeping the right people around me, and it's inevitable for me to achieve wherever God wants me to go with this.
Yeah, so you definitely, like you said, you're excited, you're ready to go. And I have one more question before we wrap this up. I just wanted to thank you for hopping on the call for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you giving me some recognition on Fight Week. Um, like I said, I haven't fought for a year. You know, I had a lot of buzz behind me because right after my last fight in August, I'd won my third amateur title. It was at 2 weight classes. I was super active. And when you don't fight for a while, like, more guys come up, more highlights pop out, and people kind of like, they forget about you. They
Mhm.
forget about who the hell, like, how you came up
Yeah.
and what you did. And Saturday, I'm really ready to show people who I am again and make that statement and put that buzz and that energy out again that, JM2 is here and I'm a fucking problem at 145. So, I'm very inspired by just the real ones who stuck by me and also the birds who've come and go to really just show them, hey man, like when you circle back around after Saturday night, like I know I'm so good with energy. I know when people are wishy-washy with it, dude. I feel that shit and I don't forget. I use it. It's good, like people, bad things are so inevitable in life. You gotta fucking use them, man. You got to. Whether it's betrayal or, injuries, whatever, like that shit's gotta fire you up, especially when you come back on the other side, you come out of the dark. It's like now is your time to show the world who you are, because it's inevitable for everyone to fall. We're human beings.
Yeah, so I can hear the fight getting to you. 12 months off, we're taking anything is fuel now. I mean, you're saying you have the Zen, but it sounds like you're gonna get in there and just sprint through this guy.
Yeah, I know he's a sprinter too, so I gotta be smart. This is a dangerous game, as you know. 4-ounce gloves. I know I have a very, I have a chin. I'm super tough. I'm super durable. My conditioning is second to none, but you have to be able to think in there too. Like I said, I've been in an amateur fight of the year, and it wasn't really much of a thinking fight. It was a slugfest. And I, believe it or not, I care about my health and my longevity in this sport. And the goal is to beat people up, look good doing it, and keep leveling up. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you said that you care about your longevity. JM2 is here to stay for the long run. With that in mind, over the next year, 2 years, where do you see JM2, the professional, making his way through?
I'm gonna hit you with a Justin Gaethje quote.
Let's hear it.
I don't see myself alive until after this fight. Nothing else matters but Saturday night. Nothing else matters but this weight cut right now, getting to this fight, and being sharp, calm, composed, and getting my hand raised. And then after that, we can talk again and we can talk about the future. But it comes down to me, getting in there Saturday night and showing the world who I am.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, man. So you got your eyes tunnel vision at this guy. Saturday night, it's going down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
All right, man. So like I said, that's all I have for the people watching. Tune in August 8th, Combat Night Live. JM2 is
Yes,
here to
sir.
take a
Take this.
body.
Yes, sir. Come and take a body August 8th, Saturday night in Kissimmee at the Osceola Heritage Center. The pro card starts at 7 p.m. If you can't make it in person, Spectation Sports is an app. You can download it. You can buy a month subscription. You can check me out live on there. We'll be streaming. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity, bro. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Yeah, man. Thank you one more time. Obviously, thank you, and I'll be watching on Spectation Sports 100%, and I'll shoot you that text. Good job after you kick some ass, man.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.